Greetings, fellow thinkers and drinkers, and welcome to the first in a series of videos looking at the recorded catalogue of the incomparable Motörhead. Their first album, that I have at least, I know there is some confusion, is On Parole. It was the one that was recorded in 1976 but only released in 79, I think. The one featuring Lemmy, Lucas Fox and Larry Wallis on drums and guitar respectively. The album was, I believe I'm correct in saying, recorded subsequently with Fast Eddie and Filthy Phil, released as Motörhead, which is, I suppose, technically their first album. However, I don't have that version of it. I have On Parole, which I now propose to discuss. There are a few bands, a couple do come to mind. For example, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, whose debut album did point the way to where they would go in the future. That's not true of all bands. Certainly not. Even, shall we say, Thin Lizzy or UFO, their debuts, not particularly indicative even of the path they were going to take. In this case, however, it's 50-50. There are some very strong indications of what is to come, and there's some areas they probably didn't return to again. You just press play, and you hear those filthy, trebly, raucous bass lines, and this can only be Motörhead. Their title song, it's early Motörhead, but it's great Motörhead. It's fun. It does encapsulate a lot of what they will be about in the future. And let's be fair, only Lemmy could get the word parallelogram into a song lyric and carry it off. Talent does have the strangest ways of manifesting itself. The title track On Parole, well, what does Lemmy say in later years when they come on the stage? We are Motörhead and we play rock and roll. And this is a bit of rock and roll. It's a fine song. They wouldn't particularly repeat anything like this. But as it is, yeah, no disgrace. Vibrator's a lot of fun. And it's got commercial appeal. It really has. And again, that's something they would occasionally return to down the line, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I don't know who sings this. It is not Lemmy. Is it Larry Wallis? Should be able to find that out. Yeah, okay, it's a tongue-in-cheek, provocative lyric. Well, provocative. It's pretty tame by today's standards. Came out in the mid-70s. They'd been, they're from the UK, aren't they? They've probably been watching one or two too many Carry On films. It's that sort of humor. But it's fun. It's a great song. Again, apart from the lyrical context, if it had been a single, you could have had, it was not inconceivable, it would have had enjoyed some success. Iron Horse, Born to Lose. Yeah, much more familiar with this from the live album, from No Sleep Till Hammersmith. Here, it is much slower and much bluesier. It's not quite a dirge, but it is noticeably slower. It's still a very strong composition, however. Would go on to be better live. City Kids, yeah, again, it's another one of those songs. It's upbeat, it's catchy. It really did have single potential. Don't think it was released. I don't know. I can't remember. I've read about it at some point. One forgets. Yeah. They would do catchy songs again in the future with commercial appeal, but yeah. Going back, when was this? When they recorded this, 1976. Yeah, it could easily have been a single. The Watcher is, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It's actually, yeah, it's a good song. I really like it. There's some really good playing on it by, I think this is Larry Wallis on my version again. This does get confusing, but yeah, when I first, it was one of those things. It's not an instant song, but it's quite a mature arrangement actually, and yeah, it bears repeated listening. Something of a grower, but no, again, it's another strong entry here. Leaving here, that's more rock and roll, I guess. Not the strongest effort. It's fine. Lost Johnny. Don't know what to say really. It's almost folky when it starts. For Motörhead, that is. Yeah, the acoustic strumming is what I'm talking about, obviously. No need to panic if you haven't heard it. Not material, not a direction they would pursue in the future. But, you know, this was their debut. Recorded, I don't know under what time, probably knowing Motörhead, they had 2.5 days to write, record, and mix this. And if that is the case, then they have done rather well. Which leaves us with Fools. Lemmy goes prog. Well, listen to the start of it. This is a little out of their normal comfort zone, shall we say, but a damn good song. It's mellow, it's reflective, musically, at least. And lyrically also, yeah. A dig at management and record companies. One forgets what a fine lyricist Lemmy can be. I mentioned a couple of times I was considering that this is their debut. I was somewhat surprised at the maturity and quality of songwriting and arrangement. I shouldn't be. Lemmy was not exactly just out of school, was he? He was in his mid-30s when he formed Motörhead. He'd been around the block with Hawkwind, although he probably couldn't remember much of it, but that's not the point. Muscle memory, I guess. So yeah, there's not that naivete here that there often is in bands' debuts when they are, in some cases, literally just out of school. Not the greatest production, not the worst. It sounds good for what it is. And as I said earlier, there are indications on here of where they would go. But like I suppose any good debut, there are indications that they could have gone in different directions. It's for each to make their own decision. Well, that's that. They say every journey starts with the first step. And this is going to be a really good journey. Few bands have such a consistent catalogue as Motörhead. And for a first step, this is a damned enjoyable first step, and it is no way a first misstep. This could well have been the case had we been discussing other catalogues. So, that's that. Any thoughts? Please let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. And we will be back in the non-too-distant future when we shall move on to Overkill. Until then, I thank you for your indulgence. Ma chonquière.